In North America, 1 in 3 women suffer from urinary incontinence, often seen in the menopausal and postpartum stages of life. I'm Lorraine Ladish, a certified fitness and yoga instructor, and today, in partnership with Tena, we are going to go through a fitness routine that focuses on strengthening the pelvic floor. You may do the whole routine all at once, or you may pick and choose small parts of it to incorporate these into your daily life. Before we get started on our pelvic floor strengthening journey, I would like to explain to you a concept that helped me a lot when I got started doing Kegels. Instead of thinking of squeezing our pelvic floor really tightly, pretending to stop the flow of urine, what we should be thinking is that our pelvic floor is a little bit like a tissue. So we're pulling up. We should be doing it as gently as I am pulling up this tissue. That is the concept that I would like you to have in mind every time we're doing each of the following set of exercises. Stress plays a big part in having incontinence, so it's important to take time during the day to maybe gauge how stressed we are and maybe take a time out to relax. Find a place in your home where you can sit quietly, even if you have kids running around, even if the family is making noise. It's okay. You can do that. I do it all the time. So we find a place to sit and perhaps close our eyes. Make sure that our sits bones are firmly planted on the mat and that our spine is straight. From there, just think of the top of your head, the scalp, and feel, is it tense? Relax it a little bit, then go down to the jaw, make sure it is unclenched, that our shoulders are relaxed, that our arms are also relaxed. Let's focus on the belly. Let go. It's really hard to let go of the belly instead of sucking it in as we're told all the time and as we will do later. But right now, we're just gonna let go of that belly. Perhaps even put your hand on it and make sure that it is distended and relaxed. Now we'll focus on the pelvic floor. Just relax all that part and then do the same for the legs. The feet, close your eyes for a minute, breathe in and out deeply. And just that is enough to reset. Here we're on all fours and making sure that our joints are all stacked. So the shoulders are above the wrists and the hips are above the knees. Here we are engaging the core, meaning that we have the feeling that we have zipped up the front of our ribs. So we're engaging our abs. At the same time, we're engaging our back muscles as if this girdle around us were holding in all our organs. And the pelvic floor is also engaged with that idea that we're doing it very gently as if it were a tissue. So from here, we're going to inhale and bring the coccyx up to the ceiling and engage the pelvic floor. And then we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to curl, we're going to bring our head down, our chin to our chest, and then inhale and arch the back, and at the same time we are engaging the pelvic floor. So you can do this as many times as you like. I am also engaging my glutes because that gives me a little extra something to look forward to, and feeling that we're getting strong. Again, you can do this like 10 times, 15 times, every time that you choose to do it during the day. Now from here, we're going to bring the shoulder to one side and to the other. Inhaling and exhaling. What I mean by that is that don't hold your breath. Try to avoid holding your breath. Of course, we're always breathing, but we're breathing in a shallow way when we are stressed or just going around our daily life. And from there, we go back to neutral. For the next exercise, we're going to need a yoga block, a book, or even a cushion. We are going to position our sits bones on the mat, make sure that our back is straight and that our chin is up, but the neck and shoulders are relaxed. If you like, you could hold your hands here if it is too strenuous, but I would love for you to work up to having your hands maybe behind your legs or even here. We're going to take this block and put it between our knees, and then we're going to press the knees in and release. So we press and release, press and release, inhaling and exhaling as we're doing this, and thinking of that pelvic floor as that tissue. It's not an intense squeeze, it is a gentle, gentle squeeze. So do it as many times as you're comfortable with at the moment. We can do just 10 and then maybe work up to 25 or 30 as you get stronger. Continuing from the last exercise, the positioning is the same. We still have the block between our knees, and this time we are going to hold ourselves with our arms in the back. Back is straight. We are pressing into that block, engaging the pelvic floor, and then bringing the knees into the chest. And inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Now I'm going to give you a modification. If this is a little much, we could also do the following exercise until we feel strong enough to be doing this one. We're going to bring our hands out in the front, engage the core, and do what is called Pilates 100s, which would be like batting the air down while we're holding and pulsing our core. At the same time, we're also engaging, once again, the pelvic floor muscles, and we're also pressing the knees into the block. So there's a lot going on. It might seem like it's impossible at first, but I promise that as we do more and more core work, our pelvic floor and all the girdle around us is going to feel stronger and stronger, and we will get gradually better. Adding on to the last exercise, now we can bring our knees further into our chest and drop them to one side, back to the center, and drop to the other side. Not all the way down, we're just twisting and at the same time thinking of that little tissue, which is the pelvic floor, and inhaling and exhaling. If this is a little much, then please put your feet on the mat and go from here at the beginning. Inhaling and exhaling. I promise that as you get stronger, you will be able to lift your feet off the mat. Another effective exercise is similar to cobbler's pose in yoga. So we're once again sitting straight up, but this time we're going to have our feet together and the knees apart. From here, we're going to tilt the pelvic floor forward, and then we're going to tilt it back in a controlled manner. So we tilt forward and tilt back. At the same time, once again, pretending that we are stopping that flow of urine. And you may do this again as a part of everything that we're doing together, or you might just pick this exercise and do it on its own. We can start out with 10 and then work our way up to 25 or so. One of my favorite yoga poses is exactly this one, Malasana, or the yoga squat. It is great to increase circulation in all the pelvic area, wonderful during pregnancy and at any other time of life. Now, if the heels do not reach the floor, please don't worry. You can always use a yoga block or 2 or 3 cushions to sit on to make it more accessible. If your heels are not touching the floor, that is okay too. You might have them lifted. Maybe it looks a little bit different from what I am doing, but as long as you are opening your pelvis, you are good. So here we would inhale and exhale for a few counts, as long as we are comfortable in the pose with our back straight, our pelvis really open and relaxed. And once you have breathed, say for 5 or 6 counts, then we let it go and let it all go, relax. It's important to keep in mind that pelvic floor exercises don't need to be isolated. We can incorporate them while we're doing any other kind of fitness routine. Say, for example, that we are doing a pec exercise, and here I am pushing my hands into this block. So I am engaging my pecs, I'm also engaging my abs, my core, and I can engage my pelvic floor as well. So if you're in a normal fitness class, remember that doing an exercise such as this one, this is just an example, you can also be engaging your pelvic floor as a bonus. So we inhale and press, engage, inhale, press, engage, and exhale. Inhale, and there we go again. So no matter what you're doing, even if you're at the gym, always keep in mind that if you focus on the pelvic floor and be mindful about it, you will also be getting that extra bonus. For the following series of exercises lying down, the most important thing is to keep in mind that the small of the back must be flush with the mat. So I have a little bit of a curvature in my back, and I have to make an effort to bring it down. So that would tilt my pelvis upwards towards the ceiling. So I want to show you. This is, if you can fit an arm or something in there, that is not the way that we need to be lying down. The way is that we tilt the pelvis up, and then the abs and the back become one with the mat. And that is the position. So here we will breathe in, and then as we breathe out, we press. You can barely see it or maybe not see it at all, but inhale and then press the back against the mat. Inhale and press the back against the mat. Now in the next one, we're going to inhale and press the back against the mat, but then we're going to also engage the pelvic floor. So let's do that again. Inhaling and squeezing the pelvic floor, inhaling and squeezing the pelvic floor, and again, inhale and squeeze the pelvic floor. You can have your hands by your side. Another thing to take into account is maybe squeezing the glutes. So if we incorporate the glutes as well, that makes it even more effective. And once again, you can start out with say 5 or 10 and build up to 25. For this exercise, we're going to start once again with the small of our back flush against the mat. This time, the feet are together, the knees are apart, the glutes are engaged, and we're going to pretend that there is a string here that is going to lift us like a puppet and then drop back down, at the same time engaging the core and the pelvic floor. So inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling, and smiling always helps me get through the hard parts of any fitness routine. So we can start once again by doing 5, 10, 15, and building up to say 25. These are really effective, and I even find them fun. For this following exercise, once again, we're going to keep the small of our back flush on the mat. And I personally prefer to use a yoga block. You don't really need it if you don't have one. Here we're going to press the knees together with or without that yoga block. Engage the glutes, tilt the pelvis, keep our arms on the mat, and then inhale and also engage the pelvic floor, hold, and bring it all down like in one piece. The back is like a block. Goes up and hold and down. As again, if we had an invisible string pulling us up and down, like a puppet. So inhale and smile and exhale. Remember, we're pulling in the pelvic floor, but we're also engaging the glutes, the inner thighs, and we can do this 5 to 10 times and build up again to 25 to 30. These are really great. I am already in bridge position here with my glutes engaged, inside of the thighs engaged, quads engaged, and also my core and the pelvic floor. So here we're just going to do little pulses. Inhaling and exhaling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to stay here and now open the knees and close the knees. Open the knees and close the knees. Again, always engaging the pelvis. Whenever you are done, you can bring it all down to the mat and relax. In the event that you did do all these exercises one after the other, we're going to release the back. So we can either bring our knees to the chest and wrap our arms around and just rock from side to side and enjoy the stretch. I'm going to give you some options though. You could also be here. If that is you, that is a great option as well. Otherwise, we can just bring in one leg at a time and enjoy the release there. Perhaps your leg is higher up. We'll do the other side, whether your knee is close to your chest or up here. Please know that you're doing great. And it's a wrap. I hope you found these exercises beneficial. I personally do them every single day. Remember that you can do them all at once or just choose the ones that you like the most and incorporate them into your daily life. It's a great way to learn how to not only strengthen our pelvic floor, but once again, learn to love our evolving bodies.